Hi. So I want to make this video to kind of self-advocate and explain before the meeting kind of what's going on. So I think it's hard because I don't understand the basics of relationships. So we're getting into things like budgeting and playing card games with my staff and doing things like that. But like we're not talking about relationships. And I think it's hard because I don't think the basics of relationships are very important. And so like I'm very black and white, and my step 2 is way over the top than everybody else's step 2. So like I might say, how are you? And then my step 2 is, can we go on a date? And things like that. And so it makes it really difficult to build a relationship because like I'm over the top and I'm scaring them away before they get a chance to get to know me. And so I need to learn the steps to building a relationship without being sexual. To me, in my brain, like, and I know this is different for neurotypical people because I've talked to them, the only difference between friendship and boyfriend and girlfriend is sex. So if you're just friends and you want to become someone's boyfriend, it's like if I want to become their boyfriend, you have to talk about sex, it seems like. But like neurotypical people, it's like they talk about all these emotions and all these things that they feel and connect with each other. And that's very overwhelming because I don't understand them. And so like, I just feel like the problem we're running into is that we're trying to teach me a language, right? So think about teaching Spanish. I took German in high school. So it's like the system is trying to teach me Spanish, but I'm in German class and taking German. And what we need to do is we need to teach me German so that I can learn the right language, and speak to girls in the right language. And so I think it's very challenging because we don't realize how the autistic brain thinks. So we just think we can go in there and say, Travis, don't come on too strong. Travis, there's a concept. Let's try this concept. But the problem is you have to go in and teach step by step how to do the relationship. And there's a lot of steps. And it's challenging when you're only getting 1 hour a week with each BC, behavior consultant. You really need like 10 hours a week with each behavior consultant because there's so many steps to learn to build a relationship. I think the bottom line is it's really hard for me. I don't understand how you show interest without being sexual. And I think that's a problem. And so I need to learn how to show interest. That should be one of our goals. And like my case management plan and my behavior plan, we should be talking about how do you show interest without being sexual. And we should actually we need to work on that, right? So we need to go out and we need to like talk to people and we need to like practice talking to them and showing interest without being sexual with them. And so like, we just have to learn how to, like, I think we have to learn to speak each other's language. So like I'm Aspie, I have autism, and I know not everybody's autistic, but like we have to try and think like I think to help me understand how to talk to neurotypical people and talk to people even people with disabilities. Like if you come on too strong and say something sexual, it's going to be creepy. The problem I'm running into is that I'm so desperate for this relationship and desperate for this physical connection, the intimacy, the touching of the breast, that it's really hard to form a relationship naturally when you are that desperate. And so like everybody tells me, like the advice that I get from everyone online and everyone is to hire a sex worker. And I'm not saying we need to do that, but I don't know how to make the desperate feelings go away without that, without taking care of that physical need. And if I'm always going to be desperate, then I'm never going to have a relationship, right? So like somehow we have to break this cycle. We have to break this chain reaction. And so somehow we have to be able to get me to understand or get me to not be so desperate. And the only way to do that is to actually experience stuff, and be physical. And so like, I'm not sure what we want to do, but like, I mean, it's like, I'm trapped and I'm stuck because, you know, like there's no way out of this without somehow, because I'm so desperate that I can't even focus on working a job. I can't do anything. My entire life revolves around me being intimate with someone. And like, that's a problem because girls find that desperate and they can tell. Like, I've always been told that girls can tell that I'm desperate. And I am desperate, I admit that. But that's because I'm autistic. I'm 37 years old and I've never had a girlfriend. And so I just think that we need to really, really, really try to learn how to break in that cycle. Somehow we have to teach how to build a relationship. I know that. Like, that's a big part of it. That's 90% of it. But 10% of it is we have to figure out how to make you not be so desperate as well. And so I just think that that's really important to keep in mind as we have this meeting coming up. And we're going to talk about, relationships and how to support me and stuff like that. So, like, a goal I have is I want to learn how to show interest in the girl without being overly sexual or without being sexual at all. And then I need to be able to tell, how do you read if she's interested in you? And all this, like, I'm just so overwhelmed by all these relationship things. And the problem is, if you don't understand what a relationship is, you don't understand boundaries. And so I'm having issues with boundaries, and I'm having issues with all this stuff just because I don't understand the basics of what a relationship is. So somehow we have to go back to the basics, go back to the drawing board, go back to the basics, and help me understand what a relationship is and how it builds and how you make the differentiate between friendship and relationship and stuff like that. So this was just a little brief video I made. I wanted to self-advocate for myself a little bit, kind of explain my thoughts about relationships and help you understand where I'm coming from to help you try and understand how to help me. So thank you for listening. Have a good day. Bye-bye.